Contact us to avail the combo offer of General Studies and Public Administration optional with 20% discount.
So today we will discuss important articles from 13th October, the Hindu newspaper. I believe that you are also having newspaper with you. First of all, we will try to know about all important articles. We will glance through them. We will try to understand the context of these articles and how they are relevant to our examination. Then we will discuss important articles in detail. Okay, so yes, you can see on first page, yes, these are the important articles. We will try to know about them. First page, expert panel clears Covaxin for emergency use in 2 to 18 age group. Okay, so Covaxin, this is given, let's say, clearance by, we can say, subject expert committee of CDSCO. Now, this is the approval body. Okay, and recommendations have been given by this subject expert committee. In near future, we can expect emergency use approval for this Covaxin for children's, okay, 2 to 18 years of age group. So this is important development. Up till now, there is Zydus Cadila. This was given the approval for 12 to 18 age group, but it is not yet, we can say, delivered on the ground, or we can say that the children are yet not vaccinated. Okay, still it has got emergency use approval. Okay, so we'll have follow up on that. Retail inflation falls to 4.35%. Industrial output growth up. So monthly data related to retail inflation released here. Okay, retail inflation relates to CPI. Okay, so consumer price index. So we'll try to have follow up. Every month we have this follow up to all these inflation related data, because the data is not much relevant, trend is relevant, and the reasons behind upward and downward trend for inflation. And we know that how UPSC asks question, basic related question in prelims examination. Inflation, you may have analyzed Sunday's newspaper. So inflation related conceptual questions are asked, and in mains examination, inflation growth dynamics is there, economic growth, so macroeconomics. So there different aspects are asked. So that's why we need to have idea about how inflation is trending in last 1 year. Okay, other political news are there. Now, Modi for humanitarian help to Afghanistan. Now, there was special summit of G20 on Afghanistan, and our Prime Minister addressed virtually, attended and addressed this meet virtually. Okay, so that this is not much important, because the outcome of the summit is not mentioned. Only our Prime Minister emphasized there should be humanitarian aid, there should be inclusive government, and it talked about Afghanistan soil should not be used for terror related activities. 3 things emphasized by our Prime Minister. Okay, see, whenever our Prime Minister talks in these international let's say forums, no, you need to understand that these are official stands regarding that particular issue. Okay, you can directly use in your answers related to that issue. Now, directly moving to the editorial page, page number 6. Okay, there is one article, do not breathe easy on silicosis prevention policy. Now, this particular article specifically talks about silicosis as one of the, let's say, epidemic, especially in Rajasthan or those states where the mining activity, quarrying activity is very common. Let's say specific question will not be asked in your mains examination, but in prelims, such kind of diseases and the information about them, it has become very important. So what we will do today, we will try to know about this silicosis disease in detail. Okay, so how it is caused, what are the symptoms, and whether there is any cure or only prevention is cure for this disease. All these aspects we will try to know in detail. Okay, then on left hand side, jabbing children. So again, it is having the same context that Covaxin is going to get some approval for vaccinating the children. Okay, so the article mentions about some concerns regarding vaccinating children. Okay, so that becomes important for mains GS2 paper, COVID-19 and governance part. So other articles that they are not that much relevant, we can say more inputs will not be taken from them. Then Yes. Coming on to page number 9, there, yes, already we covered Malabar exercise. In previous week, we covered Malabar exercise. Phase 2 is happening, or it is being held in Bay of Bengal of this Malabar exercise, and navies of all 4 Quad countries are participating here. Okay, so this is fine, we have already covered. Now on right hand side there is small news, government nod for fertilizer subsidy. Now this is small article, but there is one paragraph mentioned there. It talks about how government of India provides subsidy to the fertilizers in this particular sector. Okay, there is concept called as nutrient based fertilizer subsidy. So this present government had come up with this idea. Okay, and how urea is given for a subsidy. Okay, so these things can be asked in prelims examination, economics perspective. Okay, so we'll try to go into detail. Then Prime Minister Modi to launch master plan for multimodal connectivity. Yes, so it will be called as PM Gati Shakti, master plan, multimodal connectivity. So we'll try to know about this PM Gati Shakti here. Okay, so economy sector, infrastructure, government schemes. Okay, so all these are important for prelims examination. Coming back to page number 10, government announces plastic waste recycling targets. Okay, this is important from environment section as well as economy section. Circular economy. Okay, so recycling of plastic is a part of circular economy, and environment also. We need to reduce the consumption, we need to recycle these plastic. Okay, so these particular rules that the government has come up with, it provides some targets to this manufacturing industry, as well as it talks about the ultimate ends or targets given that by 2024 100% plastic will be either recycled, whatever that is plastic is in use, or very minimum amount will be used for waste to energy plants, or we can say cement industry, where this will be, we can say, used in a sustainable manner if it is not able to recycled or reused. Okay, so we'll try to know about these rules, what they are talking here. Okay, now on page number 11, a very important news from environment section. China launches biodiversity fund. Okay, the name of the fund, it is related to that city where the UN Conservation Summit recently was held. Okay, so Kunming Biodiversity Fund. Kunming Biodiversity Fund. So we'll try to know about this fund, how it try to fund the different biodiversity protection related projects in other developing countries. So China is basically coming up with parallel institutions in international level. Already it has launched AIIB. Okay, so there is World Bank, there is Asian Development Bank, still it has launched AIIB, and now there is Global Environment Facility, but still it has launched this Biodiversity Fund. We will try to know about this fund. This is important for prelims examination. Okay, then one of the report or researchers has said that seas will rise for centuries to come. Okay, so already we have been discussing the impact of global warming and climate change, and this is going to be the long term impact of global warming. Okay, long term impact of global warming. That means the researchers are saying that even if we control the global warming and let's say limit the global warming by 1.5 degrees Celsius by the end of century, even after that there will be sea level rise for centuries. And it is mentioning that around 9 out of 10 Asian cities are very much vulnerable to this sea level rise. Okay, so we know that 3 important cities of India also, Kolkata, then Chennai and Mumbai, so they are also vulnerable for sea level rise. Okay, so yes, these are the important articles. We will try to discuss them in detail. Let us see first article. Jabbing children on page number 6, as well as first page, emergency use approval can be given to now this Bharat Biotech's Covaxin BBV 152. Though we can understand the technical names will not be asked by UPSC, we are expecting that much thing. Okay, but nowadays we will not, take any kind of assumption now. From now onwards, you will be mugging up all the things, you will be understanding all the concepts, everything. Okay, so now again UPSC has gone back to its idea that everything under the sun will be asked by UPSC. ठीक है, उसका कोई एक जनरल सेंस नहीं है या कोई एक चीज़ नहीं है जो इस पर्टिकुलर एरिया से क्वेश्चन आएगा. ओके, सो यस, among those question also we have tried to find some trend, but especially COVID related, we can expect next 1 or 2 attempts such kind of different kind of questions now. Okay, yes, it has been recommended for emergency use authorization for 2 to 18 years old by subject expert committee of the Central Drug Standard Control Organization. So in future we can expect this emergency use authorization to be given to this vaccine. Now the company claimed that data indicated that the vaccine used the same product and presentation as the adult vaccine was safe. So that means it is not tinkered with, right? So same vaccine that is given to adults, Covaxin, the same is being given to children now. Okay, you need to know that the Covishield vaccine, let's say developed by Serum Institute of India, it has tweaked with its vaccine for children and its clinical trials are going on. Okay, Serum Institute of India, Covishield, many of you may have taken this vaccine, right? So there will be different kind of vaccine there. The other vaccine, ZyCoV-D, Zydus Cadila company. Okay, this has been granted emergency use approval, but it is still not administered at the ground. Okay, so we are still waiting for that. Now what are the concerns while vaccinating children? So two important concerns. So WHO has also come up with some guidelines regarding vaccinating children and adults separately on the basis of age groups, and within children also there should be different age groups. As we know that children, while they are growing from, let's say, infant to becoming adolescent and youth, so they go through different kind of phases of their body development, mind development and immunity development. Okay, and their body reacts in a different manner in different age groups. Okay, when, let's say, above 18 years, the body becomes stable. Try to understand, but before that the body is continuously developing, and that's why it may react in a different manner to different vaccines. This particular aspect needs to be considered while vaccinating children, and accordingly the trials should be also, let's say, conducted in a different age group and data should be analyzed, then only the approval should be given. Second thing, we should understand that the data, clinical trials that were done about this Covaxin, only 525 children, the sample space is very less for clinical trials. So whether it is sufficient, this is the question raised regarding this particular vaccine. So we need larger data on clinical trials. Okay, so whenever we say that any vaccine is effective, or we can be trusting that drug or vaccine only when the sample space of clinical trials is more, and then that data is in public domain, there is peer-to-peer analysis, review of that data, and then we will say that, oh yes, that can be effective, it is trustworthy. Okay, so that's why these concerns are being raised. So in future, before giving this emergency use authorization, the government agencies or regulators, they need to consider these concerns. At the same time, this data, clinical trials data, is not in public domain, and we know that how transparency of data has become the important issue in all COVID-19 related aspects, be it related to vaccine development, vaccine production, vaccine delivery, or even deaths related to COVID-19, or deaths happened because of lack of oxygen availability during the second wave. All these things are related to data, and there is some kind of opaqueness by the government. Okay, so this should be reduced, then only there will be trust in these kind of scientific developments. The people will come forward. Already we have seen vaccine hesitancy in the adult group. Now we know that how parents are concerned about their children. So they will be double cautious while vaccinating their children. Okay, so trust is very important. Trust can be built through only transparency. So these are the concerns that the government should address while giving any kind of emergency use approval. Okay, any question regarding this? Okay, now seas will rise for centuries to come. So here the researchers are warning that even if we control the global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius rise above the industrial levels by the end of this century, still we can experience sea level rise in the coming centuries. Okay, so basically this has been already there in the geological past. Yesterday while doing this geography part analysis, and even in the foundation batch I have earlier talked about this, sea level rise is that effect we are going to witness even after controlling global warming or the emissions, we can say carbon emissions, right. So because of that we need to have some kind of mitigation and adaptation measures. Largely the impact will happen in Asia. So Asia, which accounts for 9 of the 10 mega cities, are at highest risk. Among them 3 are in India. Okay, and you can see that they are largely populated cities, densely populated, we will say appropriate word, and because of that what will happen, a slight rise in sea level will submerge these cities. Okay, so in this manner we should understand the impact here. We can give reference to these kind of researchers studies in our essay paper or GS3 paper, environment section, GS1 geography part is there. Whenever question relates to impact of climate change, you write such kind of references. Then silicosis, yes, this particular disease, okay, on page number 6 there is article, it is having context of this disease. Okay, that's why we are trying to know. It is progressive lung disease caused by inhalation of silica, as the name suggests, silicosis. Okay, so over the long period of time. Now, where the people are largely exposed to silica? Can you tell me?
Computer hardware industry.
Sorry?
Computer hardware industry.
Computer hardware. But that is very minute level, no? Silica in electronic industry, but large scale exposure. Silica is largely present in rocks, right? So quarrying industry, cement industry or quarrying industry, there the silica, so we know that it is part of quartz, sand, rocks, quartz. And what happens, these workers working in quarries, industries, manufacturing industries also, some of the manufacturing industries also, they are exposed to these dust particles, silica dust particles. Okay, so it is not like 6 months, 1 year, long period when they are exposed, then only such kind of disease is happening. Okay, so progressive lung disease, it is part of pneumococcus family of diseases related to lung, we can say disease. Now it is occupational disease. Why occupational? It is related to that particular occupation. Okay, and people working in quarrying, manufacturing and building construction industries. धूल होती है ना जहाँ पे, dust, largely the silica dust is responsible for this disease. Now, yes, the symptoms are mentioned there, let's say shortness of breath, cough, fever and bluish skin. But it is prevalent more in Gujarat, Rajasthan, Pondicherry, Haryana, UP, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand. But you should remember that Gujarat and Rajasthan very infamous. The article written context with Rajasthan, the Rajasthan government has come up with the plan here. There is unique policy regarding this particular disease, which provides for compensation to these patients. Okay, so around 3 lakh rupees is given to these patients. Why? You need to understand that these, let's say it is the incurable condition. It is incurable. The patient is going to die in near future. Okay, and that's why the solution is prevention. Okay, so prevention, and for that prevention there should be continuous monitoring. Okay, so there should be continuous or periodic health checkups of all these workers working in these industries. First thing. Second thing, we should understand that when suppose there is detection of this disease, early symptoms, if they are detected, then we can to some extent control these symptoms. Okay, so monitoring and early detection is we can say solution mantra here for controlling this disease. Okay, so areas, then occupation, which occupation, and we can say the reason behind this. This can be asked in prelims examination also. You should be aware about this. Okay. Now, China launches biodiversity fund, Kunming Biodiversity Fund, name of the fund. Now, there was a UN Conservation Summit in Kunming city. Okay, so this Conservation Summit was actually regarding, we can say that establishing new accord setting out targets for 2030 and 2050. Okay, so biodiversity conservation, it is related to biodiversity conservation, and for that purpose the deliberation was going on, especially on the proposal of 30 by 30. Now such kind of question can be asked in prelims, right? 30 by 30, sometimes seen in news, is related to which of the following? Right. So it is related to the agenda that would afford 30% of Earth's land and oceans protected status by 2030. Okay. So protected areas we are talking here. Okay. Protected areas like in India, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries are there, or we can say biosphere reserves are there, right. So in this manner, basically it talks about the biodiversity conservation. Now this fund of $233 million, it is for funding to protect biodiversity in developing countries. Specifically it is for developing countries. Okay, and this will be funded by China, or we will say that it will try to augment that fund. But some of the rich countries, donors, they say that new fund for conservation is unnecessary. Why? Because United Nations Global Environment Facility already helps developing nations finance green projects. Okay, so that's why some of the Western countries like US or some European countries, so they were arguing that why there is need of such different fund. Okay, so you need to also know basic about this Global Environment Facility. What is this Global Environment Facility? GEF, this is important for prelims examination. This was launched after Earth Summit. When this Earth Summit happened? Rio de Janeiro, 1992. Okay. The outcome of this summit, Global Environment Facility as a financial mechanism for different United Nations conventions to support them, or the projects under this convention. Which are conventions? It is supported by Global Environment Facility. So yes, United Nations FCCC. What is this? Framework Convention on Climate Change. Then there is UNCCD. What is that? United Nations Convention on Combating Desertification. And then there is UNCBD. What is this? Convention on Biodiversity. Basically these three are outcome of this Earth Summit. Troika or sister agreements we call them. Okay, so yes, Along with these three, the other protocols like Minamata Convention for mercury pollution, right? So the projects under this are also funded by this Global Environment Facility. There are total 184 member countries for this Global Environment Facility. Its headquarters, secretariat is located in Washington, USA, and it works, or let's say the decision making body or implementing body is Governing Council of 32 members. Okay, and they are having, or they are elected by all these 184 members for a period of 3 years or tenure of 3 years. Okay, so this is the basic information about Global Environment Facility. Now moving ahead, Prime Minister to launch master plan for multimodal connectivity. See, this is going to be launched today, so more details will be available in tomorrow's newspaper. We will also try to know, but basics, why this is being launched, master plan for multimodal connectivity. First thing, let me tell you the concept. What is multimodal connectivity? Various modes, right? What are different modes of connectivity? Yes. So we have land route is there. On land we have road, railways, water is there, inland waterways, shipping is there, then airways, so aviation, right? These are different modes, right? So multimodal connectivity. So whenever suppose we are importing something, so while importing shipping, then it comes on port, then there is, let's say, Sagar Mala project. So the different ports are connected to hinterlands by rail and road connectivity or through aviation also. So this is how multimodal connectivity will help further last mile connectivity. Okay, so this particular project is PM Gati Shakti, National Master Plan. Why this plan is required? At present, there is some kind of, let's say, divergence between different ministries and departments while implementing their own projects. Okay, so when the national highway project is, suppose highway is being built, and suppose it is crossing any railway line, or suppose there is overbridge or underbridge is to be constructed, so there is lack of coordination, and because of that there is some kind of delay in implementing these projects. Now while devising these projects, all these ministries and departments will come and sit together and then decide the project. So basically it is related to, we can say that, cover projects of many ministries and departments like Bharat Mala, Sagar Mala, inland waterways, dry land ports, Udan scheme of aviation, defense corridors, electronics parks, industrial corridors. So all projects will have some kind of synergy. The appropriate word is synergy, and then we will say that outcome is more. Outcome is more. Okay, so movement of people and goods would be made seamless with the multimodal connectivity envisaged under master plan. Further details we can expect tomorrow about this, but remember PM Gati Shakti, National Master Plan, multimodal connectivity. Okay. Government announces plastic waste recycling targets. Yes, so the draft rules have been made. Okay, they are not notified yet, final rules. They are draft rules, they are in public domain, and they are providing these targets. What are the targets? To collect at least 35% in 2021-22, 70% by next year, and 100% by 2024. Okay, so those who are producing or manufacturing the plastic, now they will be having extended responsibility of collecting that plastic back and recycling it, A similar kind of rules were notified few years back for which industry? This was asked by UPSC prelims examination. Extended manufacturer's responsibility or producer's responsibility is related to, or sometimes seen is in news, is related to. Huh? For the first time this responsibility was given. Are you aware that whenever you visit any brand showroom, there is one box and it says that, oh, आपके पुराने cell phones इसमें लाके डाल दो. Okay, so basically it is the responsibility of the producers to collect back that e-waste and process it under the e-waste management rules. Okay, the similar kind of, let's say, responsibility is given to now plastic manufacturers also. Okay, so yes, non-compliance would invite traditional fine, would not invite a traditional fine, so that is not the problem, but try to understand it provides for further, let's say, certificates. What are these? Extended Producer Responsibility Certificate, EPR, and they can be traded within them. That means suppose a particular plastic manufacturer fails to achieve the target or exceeds the target. Okay, so what will happen there? If they do not want to pay the amount, basically they can buy these certificates from other manufacturer who has achieved this target before the time limit, or we can say that it has produced less plastic as it has been given scope.
Like emission trading.
Sorry?
Like emission trading.
Yes, emission trading. Yes, similar kind of things. Emission certificates are given, right? So the same kind of thing will be happening here also, and they can be traded in the market directly. Okay, so yes, only a fraction of plastic that cannot be recycled, such as multi-layered, multi-material plastics, would be eligible for sent for end of life disposal, such as road construction, waste to energy, waste to oil, or cement kilns. Okay, and this kind of disposal will happen only according to Central Pollution Control Board permitted for this disposal. So according to these methods only. Specifically it has mentioned. Okay, so target 2024, you can give yourself reference, no, what government is doing for plastic pollution, reducing plastic pollution. Now the government has come up with targets, recycling of plastic, right? So this is a very important aspect and you should be aware. Extended producer responsibility, earlier it was given to electronic waste, now it has come in plastic waste also. Yes. Now moving on, government nod for fertilizer subsidy. Okay, so yes, fertilizer, especially which fertilizers? So they have given the, let's say, potassium and phosphorus based subsidies. Okay, additional fertilizer subsidies of this much amount for a Rabi winter planting season, right? So yes, this is important. Unlike urea, where the center sets fixed maximum retail price, so there is upper cap for urea. You need to know that around 50% of fertilizers that are used in agriculture, that is urea, and remaining are largely the phosphatic or ammonium phosphate. The major, we can say that the phosphatic, yes, fertilizer, right? So it is fixed at maximum retail price, but non-urea fertilizers prices are decontrolled. They are decontrolled. Okay, the market price is actually there, but the direct subsidy to the farmers is not given. Earlier what used to happen? Fertilizer subsidy was given to the farmers. Now the fertilizer subsidy is given to the fertilizer manufacturing companies to compensate the amount below the market prices. Okay, so yes, The subsidy is paid to fertilizer companies as compensation for selling their products to the farmers below market prices. Okay, so suppose for example, suppose ammonium phosphate 1 quintal, suppose it is being sold at 1200 rupees and global prices, as it is decontrol, so it will be matching with the market prices. Suppose they are more than 1200, suppose they are 1400 sorry, this extra amount of 200 will be compensated to manufacturers, but manufacturer is supposed to sell this on this amount only to the farmers. Okay, so in this manner the nutrient based subsidy is given to non urea fertilizers. Okay, fine. Retail inflation falls to 4.35%, industrial output growth up. Yes, now in last 3 months there is a declining trend in inflation. Okay, so it was more than 6 in June month. Okay, then July, August, September it has declined. So last month it was 5.3 something. Exact I am not able to remember now fact, but it is reduced now from 6 to 5, 5 to 4. This is the range. Okay, so in September month 4.35% is there. Inflation, retail inflation, this has declined due to sharp decline in food price inflation. Okay, so food prices were very high during June month at that time, and because of that we can say that the inflation was more than 6. Now it has come down. While industrial output growth accelerated to 11.9% in August, this is largely driven by low base price, let's say data. Okay, so statistical effect of low base. In August 2020, there was 7.1% contraction. Last year, lockdown effect, first wave. Okay, and it is year on year basis calculation. That's why surely comparative to last month or last year's August month, this year there is significant increase in industrial activities. Okay, now core inflation, however, which doesn't include food and fuel prices trends, remain elevated at 5.8% for third month in a row. That means the economists are still concerned here. Okay, we know that the food prices and fuel prices, they are fluctuating continuously, and that's why they are not giving the stable picture for long period of time. That's why sometimes core inflation is considered. Core inflation takes out food and fuel fluctuating prices, and the stable prices are largely calculated, and it is still high. The reasons, let's say, we'll say rising energy, metals and logistic prices or cost. We know that the fuel prices are very high, transportation cost increase, and because of that ultimately logistic cost increase. Okay, so ultimately we need to understand that the global prices, crude prices are increasing, natural gas prices are increasing. Yesterday on Sunday's newspaper we discussed that. Okay, at the same time we should understand the monsoon effect has to some extent compensated on food inflation. There is substantial food grain production because of good monsoon, we will say that, and because of that food inflation has come down, but fuels, it is moving up. Okay, so that's why some economists say that this, let's say, low CPI is transient, it is temporary. Okay, in future we can expect increase in the inflation. Okay, so this is the trend. Now moving on the basis of this information, let us try to solve this MCQ. What should be answer to this question? Yes, everyone? Okay, so it is talking about Kunming. Okay, Kunming Biodiversity Fund. Okay, it was announced by China during UN Conservation Summit. So this is correct, right? It is part of UN Global Environment Facility. This is incorrect, right? It is separate, independent of this Global Environment Facility. It will be used to protect biodiversity in developing countries. This is correct. So, such kind of confusing statements are being asked by UPSC. Okay, specific information is required here, right? So, from current affairs, whenever such let's say environment related news is there, you need to be prepared. So 1 and 3, C is the correct answer here. Okay, so these are the important articles. Do we have any question? Okay, fine then. So we'll meet tomorrow at the same time. We'll discuss those articles from tomorrow's newspaper. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Contact us to avail the combo offer of General Studies and Public Administration optional with 20% discount.